Carmichael is the AMA Supercross champion. And Ryan Villopoto wins his third championship in a row.
For the second year in a row, Jett Lawrence is the world champion.
Well, it's been a while, RV, but everyone, welcome to Title 24 presented by NBC Sports. Thank you to our great sponsors, United Motorsports, Quad Lock, Boxo, and Dunlop, of course. We got a great show. Going to do a couple more before the end of the year, but we're going to have two-time and reigning SMX 450 world champ, Jett Lawrence, joining us today. So looking forward to that, and we appreciate his time because he is coming to us from Australia. But nevertheless, man, it's been a fairly good off season. Still been traveling a little more than I want to, RV. Before we hit record, you were telling us about tell us about your boys, and they're wanting to go full time, and you're like, oh no. So go ahead, dude.
Yeah, no, full time. So yeah, I been mini dadding it up the last, I don't know, it's been a little over a month now where it's been full, kind of the full gig, you know, one try to get one day of riding during the week, and then obviously racing on the weekends, and giving them that opportunity to at least experience part of it until they either find out how hard it is or we keep plugging away. So this coming year, hit as many races as we can with the boys, and keep them out on the track. You know, that's really all I can do, and just try to keep that fun in it. You know, that's the biggest thing. I you know, coming from where obviously me and you have come from, Ricky, like it's hard. On one hand, it's hard to, you know, take the time to, like, you know, hey, they've only been on the bike for so long. You know, you see little things that you want to fix and try to make them better, but it's seed time, as we all know. So just really trying to keep the fun in it and keep them busy.
So when you're like, I've always wondered this, and I wonder how I would handle it if I was in the situation that you're in with the boys, is like, how much, what would you say the percentage is to where you are letting them figure things out on their own and then guiding them also? Is it like 50-50, 60-40? Like, what would you think?
You know, it's, so I think obviously currently right now, just it's a lot of guiding, just because depending on what races we go to, how big they are, how many kids are in those races, you know, just it's interesting to see, you know, to try to dive into an 8-year-old's brain and be like, okay, well, why do you want to start here? And I'm like, no, so, you know, it's like, hey, this is where we want to start. This is where we all started. I don't care what the guys are doing today, starting near the box. We start on the inside, dog. Like we've talked about it on the show, you know, trying to just, you know, get them used to to what that feeling's like at a big race, at a not a big race, a local race, and things like that. So I would say it's more like, 60-40, maybe 70-30. But when it comes to the actual riding part, you know, trying to get them to understand what actually makes a difference on the motorcycle, from like standing up and, you know, balls of your feet, little things like that. I try to lay off the jumps right now. Sure, I'd like them to kind of start jumping a little bit more, but I also told them, like, yes, like we raced actually on Sunday yesterday, and Gage hit a jump he had never hit before. We had some people telling him he's got it. But I'm like, hey, I went down next to him and said, hey, if you don't feel comfortable doing it, I'd rather you execute everything else right on the track, and the jumping will come. So. It's tough. It's a little nerve wracking, you know, for sure.
Oh, tell us about what we were talking before we started recording and what Gage asked you for, and you're like, no way, dude. That was a good story. You guys are gonna love it.
Yeah, you know, like it's tough. It's tough being in my position, right? Or our position as trying
Yours.
to raise these kids to, I guess, see the value in a dollar. We came from nothing. So now it's the flip of the coin, completely different, where we have, let's call it
everything at your fingertips.
Yep. And if it's, hey, you need VP fuel, or you need this, or you need that, Dunlop tires, you know, like, you know, I can call it up. Yes, I you know, and I'm very straightforward with the guys. I said, look, we're not winners. We're not winners yet anyways. And I don't need free stuff. I just want to be on like hook me up and I'll pay for my product. But that doesn't happen very often. So trying to teach them like that. So I take them down to pro circuit all the time. Right. And Gage is like, Dad, I want to get a pipe for my bike. And I'm like, well, dude, you're not using the horsepower that's in this bike right now. And he goes, yeah, but dude, it'll sound, it'll be better. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, look, if you would like a pipe, I said, I will drive you to Pro Circuit, obviously. And you have to walk into Mitch's office and ask him for a pipe yourself. Until that time comes, I said, I'll get you a pipe when you're ready and when we need one. But if you would like one sooner, you have to do the groundwork. You got to do the legwork before I'm getting you one, if you want one currently or right now. So yeah, it's pretty funny. He hasn't manned up to do it yet.
Oh, dude, that's so good. We were talking, like, I got kind of lucky that, like, as far as my kids, they don't ride or anything, and they're almost grown. They'll be 18 in March. But like yourself, it's kind of like, do you want to go down that road? But as being a good parent, like you guys are, is like, you got to bite it and go on. You got to do it. Take one for the team and what's best for them, and give them that opportunity and that experience. And I definitely can say that I got lucky, and I don't envy the position that you're in, even though how much I love the sport. We love the sport, but I think you're doing it right. Like, I never got really good stuff until I started getting sponsored. Yeah, we couldn't afford it. We came from nothing. Very similar to the way you grew up, but the roles being reversed. I think I would have done the same for my boy. If he wanted to race, I'd be like, hey, dude, like, you almost need to earn an upgrade to your bike. And, if you're not using the bike to its full performance, then what we got's working just fine. Kind of similar
exactly.
with gauge in the pipe.
Yep, exactly to your point. Like I let him put 25 hours on the stock suspension before I even valved it. Maybe could have done it sooner just because of the weight of his weight and things like that. But I think it makes a better rider in the end, to be able to win or to learn on good product, but it doesn't have to be the best product. And I think that's I think that in the long run, that'll be better in the long run. I believe.
So do you guys, so you got that going on. What else is shaking, like, until like Christmas and the season starts?
Yeah, man, it's busy for me right now. I'm actually loading up my motorhome and trailer today, heading out today in the dirt for Fast House puts on that day in the dirt out at Glen Helen over Thanksgiving. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we'll be out there enjoying the motorcycle track, which, there's better places to be maybe on Thanksgiving for myself and my wife. But the boys, they run wild out there out at Glen Helen. So that's what's a lot of fun about it. It's I like that because obviously we know the people, right? We know our industry. So they can go off and ride their TTR 50 all through the pits or go over to the pit bike track and things like that. And I don't have to really worry about it, because we know this big group of people. If I may not know everybody personally, but we know the industry. So that's what I do like about it, is as being that they're 8 years old, they can kind of get out and get away from the motorhome and go out and kind of be be on their own, get that sensation of being a little on their own, and hey, come back at the motorhome when the sun starts to go down, be back at the motorhome type thing, so that's always, we always have great memories from, Mini O's, Loretta's, Mosier Valley, Whitney, that was the cool thing about it is, you don't really have to worry so much about, where they're at in these facilities so much, because I feel comfortable, so that'd be really fun for them.
I'm going to Mini O's tomorrow, actually.
Are you?
Yeah, it's been a few years since I went down there, and my schedule is clear. And actually, Triumph's doing something really cool. They're doing a demo, and they're riding it at the Diamondback track. So, have you been to Gainesville lately or Gatorback lately?
I have not, no.
Dude, so they have the main track, right, that you raced on, I raced on, and then they have the Supercross track. Well, behind that, they have another amateur track. It's really cool. We used it for the press launch for the 250. We used both tracks for the 250, Triumph 250. Well, they're doing demo rides for anyone basically who wants to sign up and ride the bike and test it. Pretty cool pretty cool deal. So I'm going to go, and I think I'm going to cut some laps with those guys tomorrow there, maybe get on the big track and ride, because they're doing the transition from Supercross to motocross. But got that coming up. I'm going to do that tomorrow. And then my birthday is on Wednesday.
Oh,
and,
nice, dude.
Yeah, birthday. 45, bro. 45.
Wow.
Yeah. So I got that coming up, and then I'll be out your way.
It's around the corner.
Yeah, December 2nd for Media Days. And then really that's it. After that, got to chill, man. Got to chill and take my time. And our co-producer, Hector's birthday is the same as mine. So there you go.
Nice.
We got the same. Yeah, we got the same birthday. So that's it. That's it, dude. Just doing that. And looking forward. I love the holidays. The holidays are my favorite time of the year. I just, other than racing, love racing. But yeah, I love this time, man. It's so much fun.
Yeah. It's always good. Thanksgiving, Christmas. Yeah, especially with 8-year-olds, it's a lot of fun. I do. I like it. I wish we got 4 seasons. I know you don't get 4 seasons. We don't get 4 seasons out here. You know, get that really get that Christmas feeling going. You know, winter feeling. But it's kind of hard to beat. I don't know, what is it, 70 degrees outside right now, 68 degrees. So
yeah. Well, hey, like we talked to everybody, we got a really, really special guest. I've been working on it. This guy's busy. He's popular. Just turning the sport upside down for the better reasons, for sure. He is the reigning 2024 SMX 450 World Champ, 2-time that. He is the 2024 Monster Energy AMA Supercross champion as well. So let's bring the man on who is coming down from down under for a special appearance, and that's Jett Lawrence, the man. Thank you so much for coming on to Title 24 with RV and I, Jett. I know you're a busy man. You're back in Australia, but again, dude, we didn't get to talk directly after you secured your second 450 SMX World Championship. And dude, I got to tell you, your brother didn't make it easy on you, bro.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me on, really. I mean, I like you guys, so I have no problem coming on. Makes it easier. And no, for sure, dude. Second time, HJ was right there, and it's still crazy. Like, I didn't realize at the time and point that we tied on points, really. So it's mind blowing for me. And yeah, you know how Hunter is. He ain't gonna make it easy on me at all. He always wants to just throw it in there a bit.
Yeah. You got it done, though. You got it done. So congrats on that.
Thank you.
And I expect nothing less than a three-peat from someone like you. So it was cool to see. It was cool to see you come back and do what you had to do. And you know, you were at a deficit, so you were kind of in a situation where you had to perform, otherwise you weren't going to win it. So that was good.
No, exactly. And I've come to find with those ones, I start to like them more and more. At first, I mean, you guys could relate. I feel at first you're like really nervous and you don't want to mess up so bad where you mess up more. I dealt with that with my first championship on 250. I was trying to stay level-headed, but I was all over the place when I was riding. But now that I've done it more and more, I've seen to actually like those situations more. I feel like it brings a better me out. So I love that situation, honestly. It's makes it exciting. It makes the best person win, just because it's more of like, hey, no matter how bad you're feeling that day, you don't gel with the track. You got to pull something out. Otherwise, you're going to get left.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. It puts everybody in that same situation, right? It puts you in that crunch time situation, but also Hunter and anybody else that is eligible. You know, it's open for multiple, you know, people to be able to win it.
Yeah.
So that's what's super cool about it. Everybody has to show up and bring their A game.
No, 100%. Because like you guys know, like you're normally always focused on one guy, like. For example, Supercross for me, I was focused on Cooper. Outdoors in 23 was Chase, was the main one. Like, you always have the one main focus guy, where with that, it's like I had to focus with Tomac, Chase, and Hunter. like it's multiple guys, so it's kind of like you see any of them in front of you, like, damn it, go! Like you got to get going. So it's challenging for sure mentally.
Yeah, I could imagine that, like having to manage so many guys. Like in my time, I didn't have to manage as many people as you did. I don't think the same for you, RV. What was your favorite, before we move on, what was your favorite track of the playoffs?
Uh, I liked Vegas. I personally felt Vegas was my favorite. Uh, could the lights have been a bit better to make it more fun? Yes, but it was like the actual Supercross side of things, like on the Star Straight, I actually had a lot of fun with because I was finding little things to bank off and like link together. So it wasn't just as much of a flow in, out, or like the previous weekend where it was like, oh, I got to be light here and kind of tinkle toeing everywhere. So I felt like Las Vegas was my favorite layout.
Yeah, I thought the tracks they all raced pretty well. I mean, obviously
Yeah.
watching on TV, seemed like they raced well. But look, man, you've been on the road now. You're got Bercy under your belt. You're down in Oz now. What's your feelings of these off-season races? Obviously, there's obviously no championship pressure when it comes to off-season races. But I'm assuming you're working through bike stuff, testing, making sure you're in that, get the bike work the best it can be under those race conditions. We know Chase hasn't gone overseas to race at all, right? So he's kind of staying local, doing what he's doing, but you're getting the gate time.
Yeah, it's there's pluses and minuses with that, I think the way Chase doing it is obviously really good because you can just build up a really gnarly basis, consistently hammer, hammer, hammer. But then again, your bike handles differently in main events, in race conditions. You ride the bike differently without noticing, So why not do these off-season races where if the bike's not right, we don't have to still send it to win? Because it's like, it's to figure the bike out. And we got a new bike, obviously, with the 25. This is like the first kind of go at Supercross with it. So now we're just like figuring out what parts work and stuff like that. Showa has new parts. So we're just figuring that out and to try and like kind of trial and error always. And I feel like personally for us, that's always good, like gate drops are always I think a lot of people, I feel like I've spoken to Ricky about it.
Yeah.
Like sometimes gate drops are almost better than just doing laps,
Yeah, 100%, dude. I agree with you. RV and I were talking a little bit, and I feel like it's the true test. You can put in a million laps at the test track, your practice track, and wherever, but nothing replicates being in the race. Even if the tracks aren't identical, I feel like you still get that sense of like, okay, dude, we're good, or we need to do a little
you
bit
still
of
have
work.
an idea of like roughly where you're at and stuff like that. Like, and a big thing with testing at your tracks, obviously at the Dog Pound in Florida, we have a new top track, but our bottom track we've had the last 2 years. So you know how it is. We know every timing, every like thing. So when you go try something new, like, and I struggle with that a lot, is like I adapt to it really easily. Like it'll take me a lap or two and then I'll adapt to what's wrong. Then when I come in to like say it, it's like, oh crap, like I forgot what it was, like where I have to go out testing, I'll do like one lap and two lap and then like maybe not even a third one to try and like see what it is to get a true reaction of it. And because otherwise you just like go into muscle memory with the track, and that's where racing kind of helps because it's a lot hard. Like you're not just cruising, like you kind of have that different intensity where it's like you ride different.
Yeah. I mean, look, when you put so many laps on your own test tracks, or even the two Supercross tracks that you have at your house, right, or at the Dog Pound, and you can put a Band-Aid on anything because the dirt, the track, the timing, everything. You can do it in your sleep. When you go to a race scenario, you're definitely you're thinking of racing, and then you're saying, hey, I want to just come down 6 inches out of the berm, but I can't. The bike's not letting me do that. And those are
Yeah.
areas that you notice it in a race condition.
Yeah. Yeah.
A
No,
lot much
100%. Yeah. It's those small things that when you're testing, you don't think of, it's all those little bits that you don't pick up while testing. But when racing, you get to the time and you're like kicking yourself. How we not picked this up? But you're not thinking that while you're testing. You're so focused on what the bike's doing, you follow your lines that you did before. So it's like you got to like try and do these races. For us, it works because we kind of are thinking about racing and the bad characters come out.
Yeah. Hey, so you guys, you and Hunter do pair Supercross, and then you
Yeah.
go to your homeland. And we were talking before this, like tell everyone like the last time that you were actually at home, you and your family and all that, dude.
So it's crazy. So the last time that all of us have been home, including Hunter, was actually 2017.
Wow.
So Hunter hasn't been back since 2017. The last time I've gone back, and that was with me, my mum, my dad. I think my other brother Tate, was 2019, and Ricky was there, and stuff
Yeah.
like that, because that was me going pro, and I started with Johnny that year
Yeah.
too. So it was like kind of under your wing a bit, and I was
Yeah.
letting loose in the whoops and missing a couple.
Remember? Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
RV, I kept telling him, like, dude, whatever you do, just make sure you hit
Every
each
lap.
single whoop with your front wheel and you'll be good.
I think Ricky saw my subframe like multiple times in the whoops. He's standing at the end because I had who was it? Chris Blows, I think it was.
Yeah, it's
And
close.
he
Yeah.
was like at the time really, really good like in whoops. And he's saying like, dude, he's good in whoops, like don't take the bait.
Yeah.
And because at first I was just getting in and this as far back as I can, as long as the wheel touches it and gets traction, will figure it out. It
No.
was not the brightest idea. You saw how short that ended at A2.
Ah, dude, I love it. I love it. What about the what's your feeling on meat pies, dude? Like, do you really love them? Like, have you tried to
I
have
think
one in the States? Like walk us through that, because I think I
so.
must have went to the wrong place for meat pies, dude.
Yeah, it's like so. If you get like a dud, it's not the best. Like if you get a dud, it sucks. Where if you get a really good one, it's so different. And in America, like we've even spoke about just regular food so different to Australia. Like even compared to bread and or like stuff like that. Like the bread here has such a different taste because the bread in America is so much more sugary than here. So like even my taste buds are like a little kind of confused. It's like, wait, this ain't as like sweet as I remember it with American stuff. And it's the same with the pies. So our base and the pastry kind of thing of how the pie's built, it's just different. We have different ingredients that make it taste differently but better. Where in America they don't do the same, and plus our gravy and steak in the middle kind of makes it unreal. So you have to go to a good bakery. Like you can't just go and get one from a gas station. Like you have to go to a local bakery in a small town in Oz or just any town in Oz, and you might have some good ones, but you gotta get a chunky steak, I think it is, and then that's like, because otherwise they just use mince and
Yeah.
like mushed up meat, and that's not good.
Do you get
Yeah.
cheese in yours?
No, I'm not a cheese. I don't really like cheese.
I
Like
don't know.
my
You're making my
stomach
mouth
gets messed
water.
up on
You're
that.
making my
I
mouth
know.
water.
Well, it's dinner time where I'm at. RV, you're almost dinner time. It's
Yeah,
morning
yeah. I
time
need
where
to see
you
if
are.
I need to see if I can get back on a flight to Australia and make sure I'm not banned to go get a meat pie.
Dude, it's not even that. Like, it might sound crazy, but like, I was like over the moon to have just a strawberry milk. Like, the strawberry milk just in the bottles from like a gas station. It's like, it kicks America's ass with their strawberry milk. Like, but I have also like bad experience with strawberry milk in America because I got a Nesquik one time
Ah,
and I had a first swig and a chunk went in. So, that wasn't very ideal. So I have a bit like PTSD about that, but like it's just all the small things are so good. Like I honestly would retire here and just eat as much food as I could. I'd I'd probably get so overweight.
Yeah.
Well,
Dude.
hey, your time's coming. When you retire, you'll deal with what me and RC have, or what we're dealing with now. Yeah.
Dude, at the time, I didn't understand. I didn't understand when I was young. I was like, oh, you want to stay fit. Dude, now I completely understand. All I want to do is eat this terrible food and stuff like that. I want to get fat almost. Like, it's like I completely understand it now.
It's funny how that works. So have you you got to see some old family, some friends? I know you're with your friend right now. Like, so like tell us like what's the plan for this week?
So we're going golfing soon, but tomorrow we're flying down to Melbourne and gonna do probably some media stuff. I think we're having a dinner with Adam Bailey and stuff like that with the main kind of promoters and stuff like that. So it's that. I think we might be riding on Tuesday. Oh no, sorry, Thursday. But yeah, besides that, then we obviously got the race on Saturday, and then Sunday we're on a plane back to America because I think we have photo shoots and
Yeah,
the
we got
Supercross and stuff like that.
Yep. That'll be on Monday. Or no, that'll
Yeah,
be starting Tuesday.
the big week of photos. You know, you got the team ones, you got the Supercross ones. It's the week that every rider doesn't like.
Do you like do you what do you think that they should do for that event to make it better, or do you think they should do it at another time? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
OzX Open.
No. The media days.
Oh, honestly, I think as an athlete, there's never a good time because we always wanted to do something.
Dude, I love
it. It's always tough, man. Look, we've all dealt with it. You know,
it's part of the job, but there's definitely days where it's like when it's on, it's like, oh, I'd much rather be golfing or cycling or doing gym, like.
It definitely makes it tough. It does. It's for me, that was the one thing that I probably disliked the most, is getting pulled in all those different directions. You know,
I love messing with the cat. Like the person's trying to direct me around and stuff like that. We're always like, Lucas is with me, so we just muck around. We just act like little rat bags in there.
Give her a tough time, and
she probably
I'm with you.
hates us.
So are you so for this off season, you've had just a little bit of time, I'm guessing, between after the Nations, which congratulations, dude. That was an incredible to watch. Super pumped for you to see your reaction. If you guys haven't seen Jett's reaction, he didn't know until like it was on camera. That was killer, dude. You could never relive that moment.
I know,
was awesome.
It's almost the best way to find out.
Right? Yeah.
Like
totally.
I think that's what makes that race so special, is because you never know until your last guy like crosses the line, and then it's like, where we at? What do we get like? And you either hear all the drama of like, hey, I crashed, but like I got up like after Hunter's like, dude, I crashed. I'm like, you crashed? He's like, yeah, but I stayed in third. I'm like, oh, thank gosh, like. It's a fun, stressful race, you know.
Would you say, obviously 2-time Supercross, or Supercross, and 2-time SMX? Yeah, I mean, I know what mine is. I know what I would probably pick. I know that 450 Supercross Championship and Motocross of Nations, very, very close. I think for, high on the list for me, but I would say Nations is probably for me. But what about for you? That you guys, the biggest thing is you guys had never won it, right? Australia, Team Australia had never won Motocross of Nations.
Oh, it's crazy. Like, and it's still like, it was still hard to like process, because like it didn't seem real. Like, because we tried so many years, and it's wild, like, because it's been around for 40 years, has it?
Yeah, it's been around a while.
Years. Long time.
Yeah. And Australia's never won, so it's been always you guys and the French going and whooping our asses. So
the Brit, UK's they've done really well also.
Yes,
got a lot of
them also.
Yeah.
But hey, I think I love nations because for us, it's the closest thing to a world thing, and to kind of see where I'm at. And I mean, you hear everyone else's opinion of kind of who's the best and stuff like that, and that person's the world's best. And but it's a good reference for me. Like this year, I still know where I'm at, and I still know personally, I still feel like I'm the top of everyone, even though I didn't win. But the where I come from of coming outside the top 10 through a very rutted track and stuff like that, I feel like it's just a good rough engagement, because it's the only race we have.
Well, and you always have be able to always dangle that carrot in front that you made the trek here to the U.S. and have been crowned now at least once and twice for SMX for Supercross, right? Like that is to me, that is we are. I can say that we are the best only because we do two disciplines. Now, if we did outdoors for outdoors, okay, then great. So that's.
I was gonna say. Do you imagine getting beaten by guys who do two different types of racing? But
don't do that.
I mean, I got beat, but anyway, besides the point.
Yeah,
it's still, I still think for us, our talent-wise and skill-wise is a lot broader with what we have to do with the different, like you said, the different disciplines and stuff that we have.
Yeah. Have you have you done anything fun? Like, have you had a little bit of downtime after all this? Are you going to take a little bit of downtime, like a few days after? Or is it too close to the season now?
Now it's too close to the season. Once we get done in California, and we're going to be training there too. But once we get done there, it's we got, I think, 8 weeks, is it?
Yeah,
8 or 7 weeks.
47 days until A1, I think.
That seems so much closer than it actually feels like. But yeah, it'll be the main bulk training now going before the season. So it'll be good because obviously you want to get your bulk now because you can't really build it once you're in the season because otherwise you're just gonna light the match and just let it slowly burn.
Yeah, I think it's 64 days. I believe it is. Sorry.
But then, Ricky, if you break that down into, say, you got Thanksgiving coming up, you have obviously Christmas coming up. You have your weekends that you typically don't ride. So you ride Monday, Tuesday, then Thursday, Friday. If it's more of a heavy week, you get 4 days in and you break up all those days. So it's anywhere from 3 to 4 days a week. You actually break that down. It's like, hey, we have 20 days of riding before Anaheim, so like when you look at it, we have 8-10 weeks or whatever it call, however we from today till Anaheim 1, let's call it 8 weeks. But if you break that down into ride days, it's actually really, really short.
Yeah, no, exactly. We need more laps. We've had more days of riding. Before Paris, we had 7 days of riding, and 4 of them were testing.
Yeah.
There you go. Perfect. So moving along, so the biggest thing I would say in Supercross, I wanted to ask you this. We talked a little bit beforehand, but the whoops, where what do you think of, if I was racing, RV doesn't like this. I would be all for 9 whoops, especially later in my career. But does it even matter to you or not? Not really.
I don't mind the change, and I'm not saying keep it at 9 whoops always. I like it chopping and changing because then it creates different type of things of, if you have a longer straight, do longer whoops. Because then it's hey, you can't just get in and then hang off the back. Because I feel and it's not having a go at the lesser skilled riders, but because it's for them, it's only 9 whoops instead of 13 or whatever it used to be. They're I can just send it through it, and it's actually, I felt like it's created more crashes in the whoops because we'll cut the whoops down or cut down in the be safer, but because it's shorter, we try to send it through it faster because it's less whoops, So I feel at certain tracks where they know it's going to break down a lot, you could do 9 where it turns into jumpers or you could do a lot where you're jumping a lot more instead of jumping 3 times and then you're out of them or something,
Yeah.
I'm not against 9 whoops completely, but I still feel I'd rather more whoops because it creates a more of a discipline of not trying to get going crazy early and just sending it through it. It's a lot more technique because the hardest whoops are at the end, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I don't like that it's a rule that we're only doing 9. I think that there should be, at a 17 rounds, we should have some races with 9. We should have some races with 12, maybe 10. It all depends on the track layout, in my opinion. It doesn't matter what size the floor is, what stadium you're in. If they design a track and it can fit 13 whoops in it, then great. Like I remember one year when we were racing, I think it was an Anaheim race, they had a set of whoops, but they were tiny. They were like little speed bumps. Honestly, they were harder to go through than the little ones because the front wheel just went all over the place. Like it was hard to keep the bike underneath of you. It was a total different discipline or a total different style of hitting whoops than just big ones.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also like a thing of they're making it easy for the people that are lesser skilled. And it's like a participation award, you know? Like in Tour de France, just because there's guys behind that aren't as fit and strong, up a certain hill, they don't go and like, oh, we'll change that and make the hill shorter. No, you gotta go work your ass off and get it together, get better at whoops. Practice. Like a lot of these guys are at training facilities that have whoops. Like, so
there are measures, like there's some data proving that, the length of whoops and how many there's data showing that the longer the whoop sections are, the more crashes there are. So
really?
so that's kind of like, there wasn't just some like person that said, hey, we're only going to have 9 whoops.
Yeah.
So there is some truth to it. But I think it's track dependent, and I think it's dirt dependent too, Jett.
Yeah, no,
In
exactly.
RV, I think it, like, if the dirt is good, then maybe throw a few more in there. If the dirt is complete crap, then don't even have, like, just
Yeah, like,
9 that one,
if you show up at Indy Supercross, right, dirt's frozen, they bring it in, it thaws out, it's going to be super ruddy. Well, then maybe that's a 9 whoop section where it's like 3, 3, 3, and you jump out. You have that option, super rutted.
I just like it where it creates more discipline, like it's like our lives are at stake, yes, but a lot of things is like certain things, yes, okay, like you got to change that. Like we can't, there's going to be guys that are sending it just because they're going to send it, it's like that could be bad. But then some things like that, that's a self-inflicted mistake.
I totally agree.
Like it's not like it's a 100% the track's fault, Okay, if it's like a soft spot, you weren't ready for it. Yes, understandable stuff like that. But like a lot of times when you make when a mistake is made in whoops, it's because of you were in the wrong
rider
position,
error most of the time.
or exactly. So I feel like it's a discipline thing that you got to learn, and like, hey, like that's why I felt like at first I was Hail Mary through whoops, but it's also taught me how to save a lot of things and go, oh no, this ain't right. Like I can see when stuff's going wrong now in whoops, where I can kind of sometimes save it, sometimes not, but I can adjust. Where I feel like that's a skill you got to learn, and if it's too hard for some people, then hey, get better at it. I mean, I didn't wake up one morning and be great at whoops and know how to save everything. It takes trial and error.
Yep, no doubt. Looking to 2025. Obviously, you want to win every race that you go to. Is there anything that excites you that you're looking forward to other than just racing?
Just to see if like the things I've learned on naturally, because funny enough, I can't put into words what I learned, but when I go out there, I naturally learn from it somehow. Like, I don't know how, but I won't make the mistake because when it comes to that situation, it comes up in my head. So just to learn from those mistakes, and try to make my life a little easier. And then, but I think a big goal is just trying to get as many wins. I've said multiple times of kind of I want to go after win records because now, sadly enough, it sounds a bit ish, but sadly championships aren't enough to drive me as much as they were before because I've had them. Where the win record side of thing does, because if I keep winning, then the championships are naturally going to happen. So, and obviously being smart with it too. I'm not going to go and try and wreck my brains out every time trying to win when it's not possible. Like it's a kind
Yeah.
of there's a limit.
Look at
but
the big picture on those weekends. Yeah.
One more for you, Jett. I got one last question on my end. Do you think now that you've won, pretty much every championship, if not every one that you've signed up for, the older you are now, the more seasoned you are, do you think it's harder to keep that going, the championship run? I know how I felt. It seemed like the first one for me was harder in a different way, and then they got harder after I won the first one.
Yeah, for me, it's funny because it kind of gets like not easier, but like I start to mentally think it's a little easier to win because I've done it. So I feel like that's a challenge in itself of kind of, and my dad does really good at this and kind of keeping my mind on it and staying focused, like, but I mean, the biggest thing that motivates me with like getting championships and stuff like that is my parents, like if I fail in what I'm doing and start not to care as much, then that's sadly enough. Like we go back to zero almost. Like, I mean, we have an exit plan B, obviously always, but it's kind of relied on Hunter and I. And obviously, if I fail, I ain't the brightest kid to go and get an office job. But then it puts all pressure on Hunter to succeed and get the money and stuff like that because mum and dad obviously under us. So I have a different motivation of certain things that a lot of people don't have. And I think that's what helps kind of get that like grit out, like I don't say much. I don't need to say I have a dog in me, but I know deep down that I don't have to tell people. I show it with stuff like that, with all like kind of gotta win situations and stuff like that.
Yeah, dude, we're ending it there. And for anyone, I mean, we got some. I know I've had plenty of haters and still do. And RV, you've been pretty good. Jett, you get beat up for stupid reasons, which I'll never understand. We ain't even talking about that. But what you
Yeah.
just said, I mean, I respect. I mean, you cannot respect that. You know what I mean? And that's
No,
what
exactly.
you're a great person. You got a great family. Sacrifices, we've talked about it a million times. You know that, and you keep
For
that
sure.
attitude, but you keep that attitude, and you're going to continue to succeed. So we know it sounds like you're a little banged up, but get back to first and foremost. Thank you very much for coming on today. I
No
know
problem. Thanks for
sometimes
having me,
stuff can
lads.
be a
Always
pain.
love chatting with you guys. It's always
All right,
it's always an honor to chat with you guys. You don't get that every day.
You bet. And we'll see you in 46 days time, mate. Enjoy yourself and good luck this weekend. Dude, I always love talking to Jett and listening to what he has to say, RV, just because I don't know, man. I just feel like he's really matter of fact and doesn't seem like he's thinking much. And it just, dude, he's honest, right?
Yeah. Off the cuff.
Yeah.
It's the age obviously of him, and it's also the things that he's accomplished, and I think
Right.
to be in that position, you really, I'm sure he's very smart, but you can't overthink things, and I think that's where he's really good at, is not overthinking.
Yeah, dude, certainly. And I think that's a huge attribute to a lot of his success and mental toughness, no doubt. Speaking of, as far as like interviews go and previews, got something really cool. A lot like last year. If you guys remember the 2024 preview show on NBC, same thing this year. So set your calendars to make sure you are tuned in front of the TV. Sunday, December 29th is the 2025 preview show, and that's going to be at 5 p.m. Eastern time on NBC. Super awesome. The way that they're doing the interviews and the features with a lot of the top riders, it's like really intimate, and I think everyone is going to be really stoked. The riders, I've seen some of their sound bites, and it's pretty incredible. And they just seem like they were in good moods and kind of open and honest. Loved it, and I think everyone's going to be stoked. So again, make sure you check that out. It's Sunday, December 29th at 5 p.m. Eastern on Big NBC. They have guys like Jett, Hunter, Prado's going to be on there, Tomac, Hayden, Plessinger, Coop, and Ken Roxon as well. So really good there. I think you guys are going to love it. A lot of analysis from the two Jasons, Stu, AC as well, and Will. Really nice conversations, and myself. So anyhow, make sure you guys check that out. One other thing, while we are doing some promos, something that I'm happy to share for myself and RV. We got a really cool promo. We don't, but Road to Recover is doing it via MX Locker. So go check out MX Locker on sale right now. We have race worn gear. My gear is from 2002 at Washougal. It's at Road to Recover, Road to Recovery, an incredible foundation. I'll show you. Yeah. So here's got my pants here signed. They're live. Again, you go to MX Locker, check that out. There's the pants, and I got the jersey. It's signed as well. Pretty cool, right? Like, what do you got? What you got,
bro? That iconic orange. That's right. So yeah, so I have same thing, guys. I have 2011, I believe, and by the way, a lot of this, if not like if you go over to MX Locker or Road to Recovery and you bid on any of this stuff, Brian Barnes, which
donated
donated it. I not grew up with him, but he announced at Washougal every local race, and then he would also do the national too with Rob Bitus and things like that. But he had a massive collection of I mean, I don't know, the last 20 years of racers. So he donated a lot of that, or a big majority of his collection, to Road to Recovery. Like I said, you can get, like Ricky said, you can get it over at MX Locker also. But you got the jersey here from 2011, same thing, got the pants right here signed. Great Christmas presents. Nonetheless, if you're looking for something to hang on the wall,
some wallpaper.
Exactly. Yeah. For the man cave or whatever the case may be. There's gonna be a lot of good things on there to go bid on, and it goes for a good cause, man. Obviously, Road to Recovery is a huge asset to have for Supercross and Motocross, and any one of these down riders, coming in to pick up some bills or wherever they need help, they're there to lend a hand. So that's we're just trying to drive some awareness over there, and make sure that they have a pot of gold sitting there when something happens to some of these riders.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So I got some details. Yeah, it's live right now. The auction is live, so go bid on it. RV talked about it. Like, he hit the bullet points, and all the winning bid and the proceeds go to Road to Recovery, and basically help our fellow injured riders that have been injured, and try to get some stability back going, and whatever it may be. It's just an incredible foundation if you guys go down, and what Road to Recovery has been able to do. And I've seen what they've been able to do for guys that we've raced against. So go over and check it out for sure. And like RV said, great Christmas present for if you're an RV fan, if you're an RC fan, think about your friends, that how pumped they would be, and the cause that you are helping there. So we appreciate you guys. And just a little story there. I can't really remember 2002 Unadilla, like were there any specifics of what went on in the race there, or no, Washougal, but nevertheless, it was a good year for me. That's the first year that I went undefeated.
Yeah, that's a big one, real big one.
Yeah. So anyhow, you guys check it out. Dude, I'm excited. It's been a quiet off season for the most part. Let's hope it stays the same. And as we get through Christmas and we close in on the new year, I hope that everyone stays healthy and we can have the gates fully loaded with a massive amount of depth like we did last year. I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, no, I think so. It's interesting to see. Obviously, we have all of these overseas races. Bercy, we got to tune into and see the results from that. You got Hunter and Jett down under right now for, I think, OzX Open. But then you have Chase sitting in the back, right? Hasn't left Florida yet. just grinding away. So it's going to be interesting to see, you know, if staying home and putting in that work and then the rest of the boys, you know, Cooper. I mean, there's a big handful of guys that have gone overseas now to hit these one-off races. And it's good and bad, right? It's good because you get the gate drops, you be on your motorcycle, you get to see if you're at least in the ballpark with settings. But then the other thing is obviously the long travel, the risk of injury or getting sick that sets you back. You know, you're sitting on a plane for 6-8 hours. Australia is even longer than that, right? 13-14 hour flight to that. So, you know, it could be a double-edged sword for some, you know, you never know. And it could be the same for Chase. Would have gate drops been better for him for this off season, than just staying home and grinding away. You know, so that's what I'm more, I guess, really interested in seeing around Anaheim 1. As we know, Anaheim 1's Anaheim 1. We can't take a lot from Anaheim 1 other than the excitement, because it is the start of the season and things, you know, you can't really judge anything off Anaheim 1.
No.
But
No, you can't. RV, I've said this for years. Like, dude, I don't think you really see everyone's true colors now, especially how deep the field is. I don't think you see just what their true potential is. Well, you see what their potential is, but are they contenders or pretenders? I don't think we see that till around 5 to 7 round, right?
Yeah.
Like, I just, because the adrenaline, like you talked about, is just so high. A lot like Anaheim. I just feel like you get a better sense of who's going to be there at the end, you know, leading towards midway of the season, I believe.
Yeah, no, we've talked about this a million times, and we'll talk about it a million more times. It's getting through, and I mean, and Eldon taught me this, which obviously came from your guys's, you know, inner group, you and Eldon back in the day. It's like, hey, once we leave the West Coast swing, that's when, you know, we got to be within the top 3. You can't let the points start running away. You got to stay there, for sure. Knock down a win or two, but just be in the hunt for when we leave the West Coast swing. And that's what he brought to the table for me. You know, I've been lucky enough to win Anaheim 1 twice, but I also left there, I think, with one of the worst finishes and won the championship, which I think was like a 16th leaving Anaheim. And I had to do a lot of 12th.
You had to do a lot of kitchen cleanup, didn't you, dude?
Exactly. And it wasn't till like 5 or 6 rounds to go, right, that I was kind of back in the mix. You know, always just because I ended up being close to you know, however many 12. So I don't know, 14 points down right out of the gate, which isn't where you want to start. You know, so that's what I'm most interested in seeing is did the off-season racing help, or did the focus of staying in Florida with Chase and just focusing on himself and the motorcycle and the fitness side of it, and which is going to be prove to be the better outcome.
Yeah, looking back on my career, RV, I wish I would have done more off-season races just to make sure, just do a quick check like you talked about and told us all, is make sure the settings are right, make sure it works properly in a race situation. I know the tracks aren't identical, but you know, if you're doing your job right, you can get a good enough grasp and a good enough feel of like, okay, dude, we're in a good spot, or we need to do a little bit of homework in certain areas. So I wish I would have. Can't turn back the clock, but I like how some of these guys are doing that, and then they're staying active, right? I think that's good for a guy like Kenny or like Eli, where you just, you know, taking too much time off could be not good for those guys, you know, and it kind of lessens the burden for those dudes who have the experience, so where it's not the same old grind every single day at the test track, you know.
I agree.
That's my thought.
Yep, it's gonna be really interesting. So I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be it's stacked class once again. I mean, it was stacked last year, but obviously we got everybody healthy currently, and hopes to that stays that way. You know, I think it's going to be a really interesting year.
Yeah, it is. Well, we appreciate Jett for coming on, mate. That was fantastic. We know you're a busy guy and you haven't been home in a while, so you're catching up with old friends and family, I'm sure. So we appreciate your time, but had to get you on here, number one, to talk about the SMX World Championship and you being the 2-time defending champ. and then a little preview into what to look forward to for the 2005 SMX World Championship Series. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So thanks again. And always, thanks to our sponsors, United Motorsports, Quad Lock Case, Boxo, and Dunlop. You guys are awesome. Looking forward to next season with you guys. You know, RV are going to do a great job, and we appreciate all your support for sure. As always, everybody knows if you want to listen to us audio wise on all the applications, so you can check us out there. But if you want to watch us live, we're on demand on Peacock, and of course on the Motorsports on NBC's YouTube page as well. Going to have a couple more podcasts with some guests before the new season, so we will keep you abreast on that via social media. And RV, until the next one, we'll talk to you guys later, right?
Yeah, no, that's right. And stay tuned. You'll see some stuff coming up, probably about a live show around
That's right.
beginning of the year, Anaheim-ish time. So we'll be getting some details out there for that.
That's right. And remember, hit the DMs too. Send us some stuff. We want to hear feedback. We love the interaction. You guys are amazing this season. So we want to hear what you guys have to say, and what any questions we want to answer, or who you think we should have on the podcast. And it's just going to make us better and let you guys enjoy it a little more. So we appreciate it, and we will see you next time.
Hi folks, Lee Diffie from NBC Sports here. If you truly enjoyed what you just watched, you can get more news, interviews, and highlights by subscribing to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube page. You can get it all, so go for it.